So last night we did the story, the katha of Gunanidhi and how we ended up with Kubir. Tonight we will do two things. What happens to Kubir, and secondly is something called Annapurna Ashtami. And there's a passage in Shiv Puran that explains the importance about food and why we share food when we have prayer. It is a little relevant to what's going on in our country right now. It has a couple of verses inside there that I would like to highlight to everybody. So tonight I'm reading from Shiv Puran and Uttarakhand of Valmiki Ramayana to explain a couple of things about Lord Shiva in this Ramayana. Have you ever heard how he got the name Ravana? Or why he has that name Ravana? Young people are listening on Facebook now and you're hearing all types of different stotra. And I'll say one verse and you'll know it. And tonight's discourse deals with where that stotra came from. There are various versions of that book called Ramayana. We in Trinidad know Valmiki and Tulsidas, Jwala Prasad Ramayana, very common. But there's also Anand Ramayana. There's even a Ramayana where Ravana is the hero, amongst other things. Tonight you will hear of Ravana from the perspective as a person who prays to Lord Shiva. Doesn't know about Lord Shiva too much in the beginning, but he finds his way to the feet of Mahadev. When people go online or you see the picture where Lord Shiva has a bowl and Mother is pouring something that looks like rice in that bowl. And what is the history behind that? Question. Consider every person that comes and says, please, I'm hungry. Consider each one a guest. Atiti Dev Baba, my guest is my God and my God is my guest. Do your part. Our scripture says, feed who you could feed, help who you could help. Don't watch the text, the texture they hear. Don't watch the color of the skin or the religion. Don't only, nowhere does it say only help people that look or pray like you and I. Do not fall for that trap. Sometimes that Mahadev will come when you're walking out of the grocery. Brother, partner, spare my dollar. Garbran says when you are facing Yamraj, he says, I gave you the dollar in the wallet and I came and I asked you for the dollar and you could have very well bite. You could have very well spared that dollar. What did you do? Do not study what another person does. The government, the prime minister, everybody, they have their role to play. But when the question is asked, what did you do? What did you do with your dollar or your hands? You know what? When we had the little extra containers, Baba, why we packing the food in containers? When you're feeding on leaf, sometimes it's only people here that get it. But by the grace of a little girl who is putting tikka on all when all coming in, that little girl reached San Fernando Promenade, and everybody who would accept it because it had some didn't want vegetarian food. All the vagrants in San Fernando got food that night, for example. She says, if the person could feed and feed with a clean heart, with an open heart and not a grudging behavior, that person, O Mahadev, will see our faces. Blessed is the person that could feed hungry people. She says, and I know you know this, I'm just reminding you of what you already know. Our tradition, long ago, everybody used to grab a bowl. Brother, you want more chana? I want to take all that food for you. Last night in our example, we saw Lord Shiva feed Lord Vishnu. According to our text, when you put the person on the ground and you have to bend your back to feed the person, that bending, the strain is where you burn karma. This is why our people traditionally would sit on the ground to eat. Think about any bandara, it is still done. And the Baba then finished the prayers. And this is why. So when you do this activity now, I am feeding you in this example of the bandara. I'm feeding you on behalf of my ancestor or my loved one that just passed away. And I want your blessings. I would like to have your grace. Please. I remember growing up, people used to rush to share food, and this was why. He says, when the person who shares food, when you feed people like that, you'll never go hungry. You'll never be without. You'll never be hard up, as people say. You know, right now with the economy, a lot of people are seeing problems. Now is the time not to do less, but to actually do more. As I want to pause on this point, you see all these foreign nationals that are coming? Look at it from a karmic perspective only. Feed and help who you could help. That is what you'll be judged on. If there's room to improvement, please don't get me wrong. If there's room for improvement in terms of handling the overall situation, yes. That is why we have leadership. But when somebody says, brother, I'm hungry, you could help me with that doubles? Always. I could. If I could, I could. Principal Umapati Mahadeva Ki. We were listening to Facebook, and Facebook had a nice stotra. And some children asked me about it. They heard that Ravana, I don't know if you know this, Ravana was one of the biggest devotees of Lord Shiva. He was a person that prayed ardently to Lord Shiva. Until this day, we use some of the prayers that he composed. Let's join together to listen to to answer questions that were asked. I'm reading this discourse where Lord Shiva breaks the pride of this individual called Ravana. Till this point, Kubir, as I said last night, Kubir is the owner of Lanka. He has done great amount of dhyan and tapasya. And Lord Shiva goes to sit in his home, and Kubir is taking out food like this. And every time he does it, more and more gold. Do you remember that discourse where Hanuman is burning this city and everything is golden? When you listen to the description, Ravana never built that city. Kubir built it by the grace of Lord Shiva. We enter into Uttarakhand of Valmiki Ramayana. Kumbhakarna and Ravana are young. Ravana is not married as yet. He's a young man. He is still referred to as Dashanan. He sits at this point next to Kumbhakarna, and Kumbhakarna says, sleep is troubling me, brother. I want to go and rest. Build me a mansion where I can rest my head and be locked away. For as long as I am sleepy, I want to sleep. You take care of the kingdom. You run the show. And when I wake, I'll come back to see what you've done. 1, 2, 3. Ravana builds this huge palace to accommodate the size of Kumbhakarna. It is referred to as big as a mountain. But when brother goes to sleep, let's hear what Ravana does. When Kumbhakarna goes to sleep, Dashanan goes and starts to kill praying people. Regardless to their age, he starts to slaughter from a side to weaken the devatas, to stop the puja, to stop the havan. He wants to take over the entire thing. He wants to become so powerful. How do you break people? Stop them from doing prayers, he says. Stop their puja, interrupt their worship, break their opinion of prayer. Stop making prayer something to go to and make it something that is so hard and difficult, troublesome. If I go to do prayers, there's going to be some repercussion. So the easiest thing to do is not do the prayer. He goes where there's a huge yajna going on in the Nandhana grove, and he slaughters every person present. The ground becomes riddled with blood and bone. All the Rakshas are biting flesh. They are eating from the people that are lying there. The army of Dashanan is vicious. They contaminate and pollute the waters, the rivers. They break trees. They destroy that entire area. That particular garden was built and prepared by Indra himself as a safe haven for when he came upon the earth. Kubir, hearing what his brother has done, Kubir already has left Lanka. He sends a message for his brother, hearing the desecration that he had done. He sends an emissary, a messenger, to relate a message from big brother to younger brother. Kabir says, according to good conduct and the tradition of our family, you should not have done what you did. I went to that Nandahana grove and I saw the blood. I saw the bodies, I saw innocent children, their bodies were scattered. Helter-skelter, oh, what did they do you, great king? Are you so bloodthirsty? Are you so heartless that you would kill children too? How, when this life has to leave this body, how are you going to enter in the upper looks, the upper regions? Upon hearing these words from the messenger's mouth, Dashanan is already getting angry. He's getting more and more infuriated. But he's holding his tongue. According to the law of Manu, when somebody sends a message, you don't destroy or kill or hamper the messenger. Take the message. So he's trying to follow that political law. Kabir goes on to say, he says, take my advice and go and worship Shiva. I, when I was now appointed Kubir, made the mistake of letting one of my eyes tear at Parvati Mata. And that eye burnt, the left eye burnt. If you look at some pictures of Kubir, you see he sometimes is shown wearing an eye patch for this reason. He says, I was appointed by Shiva and I made the mistake of staring at his wife. Because she is so beautiful, I lusted. Brother, I made that mistake and I paid dearly for it. He says, but you know what I did? I sat down and I prayed for a very long period of time. I did worship the Mahadev Baba using different prayer, different mantra, different stotra, different postures, holding my body rigid regardless to the environment, the weather, etc. Rain would hit my body, hot sun would burn my body, but I did not stop or break from my tapasya. And when I had completed my vow, Mahadev appears in front of me and he says, let us become friends, O Kubir. He says, a friend does not look at another friend's wife. From today, understand what is a friend. I give you back your vision. I give you back what I took from you. And I give you friendship in return. You are always welcome by me, and I will always come looking for you because of the power and purity of your prayer. Listening to these words, oh younger brother, I have never left his side. Constantly I feed him, constantly I serve him. He is my Lord, and because of him I have what I have today. You live in that huge city, in that huge mahal of Lanka because of his grace. Take my advice, oh brother. Go and pray to him. Beg him for forgiveness and do not transgress in this way again. When you do these things, destruction will not come only for you, but for the other members of your kingdom and family. Prem Savalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki. Without a second thought, Ravana gets up very angry, very, very, very furious now. Let's hear what he does. He drags his weapon, that sword that he had on his waist, and without any hesitation, decapitates. He takes the head off the messenger, breaking all treaties, all rules. Ravana now is so angry. He wants to go and fight even his brother. Jumps on a chariot, and with a vicious attack, finds the home of Kubir. The wife of Dashanan is not in the story yet, so there's no one to hold him back. He is so raw and unbridled. There's no one. Kumbhakarna is not there to hold him back. And poor Vibhishan, he is like a little deer flickering in the wind. He cannot stop him. All beg him, don't do this. This is your brother, this is your blood. Do not attack your own. And he goes and he holds on to Kubir and he pulls him off the throne where he's sitting, throwing him to the ground and beats him badly. Bloodied, Manibhadra and all others that are associated with Kubir try and put up a fight. But this fella is too powerful. This guy, after praying for some time, Dashanan has the power, the strength, the Shakti of 10 individuals. His body is as if it is made from adamantium steel. He is resisting whatever weapon they come at him with. And in this way, without much resistance, he destroys the place where Kubir is staying, and he wins and overpowers Kubir. The one thing that he wanted to get from Kubir, this is the moment, when in Tulsidas Ramayana, after the war, Shri Ram mounts this pushpak, this vahan, this vehicle, a flying vehicle to reach back to Ayodhya very quickly. We hear in that version that is the belongings of Ravana. But Ravana takes it here now. He steals it from Kubir and he says, from today, this flying vehicle is mine. Nobody is going to take what is mine. And he raids all the gold. Last night we heard Lord Shiva tells Kubir, from today you will have dominion over gold. And he has a great amount, massive amount of gold with him. But here now, this younger brother takes everything and he packs it and he's moving out, raiding in this way. He gets ready to fly. Dashanan wants to go all over. So, mentally he's guiding the pushpak and he says, I wish to cross the Kailash Parvat. I want to go over that high peak and see for myself what it has. I want to see the beauty of this world from this vehicle now that I have. Prince Volomapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Let's hear what happens as he's going. Something happens. Imagine the vehicle is going very quickly, bullet speed. And he wants to go. You remember where Kartik was born? And he reads, when the seed of Lord Shiva falls, Skand is formed where there was a type of reed growing, a beautiful spot. Dashanan wants to go and see that spot. But in order to go, he has to cross the Parvat, the head of the Kailash. And when he's going, it is as if somebody mashed the brakes. He's willing, I want to go, and you are listening to my mind. But now the vehicle is not listening anymore and is at a stable, stationary point. He starts to think, what has happened to this vehicle? Marriage comes and says, Prabhu, maybe it only answers to the voice and the thoughts of Kubir. And now that you are no longer in the good graces of its Lord, maybe it does not want to listen. Ravana does not want to hear this. There must be a reason. There must be something here stopping us. There must be something living on this mountain that is interfering with my movement. And while she's talking to Marich and the rest of them that are on the pushback, Nandi, my grandfather was Pulastya Muni. Till today when we are doing Shrad, we call Pulastya Muni in the Tarpan offerings because of the good works he had done. He comes from great lineage. He was taught great amount of prayer. But in his mind, instead of using the prayer for good, he takes the same prayer and he wants to get land and wealth and all these things. You can't blame his parents. You can't blame his wife. We heard when we were talking about Gunanidhi, we heard where the wife is misleading the individual. But what about the person who has the good consort? Comes from the good home, good family, good genes, and still wants to do wayward things. This is an example of such a guy. Prem Savalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki. Let's join together. As he jumps back now on the Vahan, and he goes further. And what does he want to do? He wants to show Lord Shiva, this person, whoever this monkey man is talking about, I have more power than him. What is he going to do? He gets under the parvat and he slips his hands in, pushing the left hand further inside, lifts the Kailash parvat. The entire mountain range, he lifts it with his left hand alone, and he squeals with a loud voice to the heavens. Look, you blue-throated God, look at what I can do. You are the protector of everybody. Who is going to protect you from me? If I can lift this mountain soon, I will be on your doorstep to destroy you. You don't know how powerful I am. My name is Dashana. Parvati Mata is smiling. Lord Shiva, very tranquil, very equilibrium, very cool. But he continues to boast. Soon, what does he say? Soon, Parvati will be mine. Your wife, I am going to take her for my own. Lord Shiva opened his eyes when he heard that statement. Let's hear what happened. When the husband of Uma hears that now there's a threat that I'm going to take your wife, Umapati, husband of Uma, takes his right foot and the toe, the big toe, touches it to the mountain, just like that, applying no force. And that mountain started to come down on the left hand of Ravana and squeezed that hand so hard. He starts to bawl. If somebody says, do you know how the name Ravan comes? Dashanan is his given name. Ravan means the person who bawls, cries very loudly. He was the person when he started to squeal, when that mountain pinned him there. Throughout the universe, the reverberation of his voice, his squeal, his bawl, his tears was heard. All the devatas, all the different people in the heavenly region, they become afraid because what is happening? What is causing this disturbance? And all it was, Lord Shiva's toe is pressing the mountain. He's guided, Dashanan is guided by Marich. Sing for the Lord. Ask for mercy. You have angered him and he is so powerful. He is Shambhu. He is the one, but he is also very forgiving. If you pray now, you can still get forgiveness. Otherwise, you are going to be here until he creates something called the Shiv Tandav Stotra. Jata kala he hum save, Brahman Brahman himan bale, Panir jani vilokave, Shale kale kamanitam, Dagha 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 jwala, Lalata pata pavaki, Kishora Chandra Shekhara, Rati pratika shamyaha. I have deep interest in you, O Shiva. O head that is supposed to be glorified, head referring to the lingam. Oh, that individual that has Ganga running on his body, I bow to you. That person who has matted, tangled locks of hair, I bow to you. That person whose body has the tej or the fire of energy in your forehead, in that third eye region, I bow to you. Jata bhujanga gangile pingala suraratpana mani prabha kadambukam yena jwala pralatikam. May I find wonderful pleasure in your home, Shiv Baba. You are the advocate for all life. Whether it is the creeping snake, whether it is the human, whatever is the colors of people or animals or the snake, you cover them. You give them that protection that they need. I bow to you, O Shiva. Prem Savalomapati Mahadeva ki Jai. This Tandav Stotra made him start to sway. Until this day, people use it as music to dance. Tandav is when he's dancing. And he started to call on him and guide him and praying like this. He begs for mercy, Kripa. And after 1,000 years of crying and bawling, Lord Shiva appeared in front of him. Lord Shiva says, "Oh Ravan, I give you the name called Ravan because of your bawling. Oh child, as if you are a newborn, you have been squealing and interfering with the peace in this forest. For this reason, I have taken form today to relieve you of your pain. O Ravan, from now on, people will refer to you by that name, and that name will be infamous. You will always be remembered, O son." Not many people know his other names, but they know the name Ravan because of this blessing. I am very pleased with your prayer. Blessed is the person that offers the Tandav Stotra to me, that whatever pain, whatever ridicule, whatever legal problem, court problem, whatever it is, whatever threat, that person would be able to get help. In today's world, when people come and say, "Baba, I have such and such problem, what could I do?" See Baba say, "Here, Shiv Tandav Stotra. On a Monday morning, get up and you do this job. But let the 2 feet touch like this. Don't cross your feet. Sit in this posture. In that asana, you will be able to get the help you're looking for." Prem Savalomapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Lord Shiva lifted the mountain so the left hand could come out. Ravan stands up and he bows. He says, "Prabhu, I didn't know who you were before, but now I know your power. And from today, I am going to do your worship. I will become your sevak. I will become your devotee. And I will propagate your name. I will sing your praises, Prabhu." Lord Shiva gives him a weapon. He says, "May you have this weapon so that you will be powerful. You will be guided and guarded with this weapon." That sword is referred to as the Chandrahans. When going into battle, whosoever you are facing, they will be destroyed, so long as you are on the righteous side. Prem Savalomapati Mahadeva ki Jai. This is the part just before, as we were talking about Lord Krishna. The next thing Ravan does, he goes to test the sword. He wants to test the sword. How does he test the sword? Indra, Yamraj, and all the other devatas, the next chapter in Valmiki Ramayana, they were doing prayer, doing Havan. and he comes with his sword, walk away with one less bad habit. Otherwise, what will happen is we do Shiv Puja and you'll get destroyed like this guy called Ravana. The destruction is predestined because of the choices he made. At any given time, he could have put down that sword. He could have chosen not to touch somebody else's wife. But he couldn't help himself. What will you do? Prem Subhalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Let us stop being selfish. And when you see people in need, help them. Let we walk away with that. Let us stop looking at people and looking for similarities and differences and using that as a reason to be greedy or selfish. As a Hindu, how could you do that and then look at somebody and say, Sitaram, I bow to the God in you. Apparently for some people, God is only live in some people and not every person. In order for us to practice what we really believe in as a true Hindu, God lives here, there, and everywhere. And if that person you're feeding is a dog, somebody asked me, we were talking about prasad the other night in the yagna, and somebody asked the question, is it wrong to feed your dog a prasad? What do you think about that? Because I made the statement in every Pandit house, the dog had diabetes. You could only eat so much, you know what I mean? The truth is, we use, we text and we practice. When we have Shrad and we just take out food for all animals, think about the bird, the dog, or the cow, or whatsoever, in the food that they take out, they put a little morsel of the Mahanbhog too. Prasad is anything that is touched by God, and if anybody could get to touch it, it is a blessing to eat it and to share it. What we talked about the other night was getting it tonight, basically by sharing food and sharing your blessings. Tonight you hear the merit. I hope you understood another form and another way of worshiping Lord Shiva. That even if you are as bad as this guy, Lord Shiva could give you a chance. But you have to use that chance. You can't continue to be bad. Destruction will come. But if you make the change in your life, if you calm down yourself, if you change your pride, whatever it is, your ego, then you'll get to see the God in your life. It is possible. Prem Subhalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Tomorrow night I want to do the Sati discourse, but not so much on Sati Mata, just to give you a preview. Sati did something that caused Lord Shiva to walk away from her. Some people will say, so if God is God, how come he left wife dead? Something with this Rama and Sati Mata, her mouth said something. That's why I wanted to touch this book. And then the real trouble comes when she dies, what he does after. Because sometimes we just hear mother burned herself and she was born back as Parvati Mata, and we go from there. Tomorrow night, for those people that have the blessing to hear that, we'll be joined with Guruji, Shivanand Maharaj and friends, and we'll be doing it again. Prem Subhalo Mahapati Mahadeva ki